Welcome to the Dice Tower, a series of video reviews about board and card games. Here are your hosts, Tom Vassell and Sam Healy.
Today we have special guest Steve Garcia, who seems to be popping on all our videos these days.
Right, baby, I'm taking them.
Well, we need 3 people because it takes 3 people to pick up this box. This is I Am Vlad, the Prince of, how do you say that, Wallachia?
Yes.
It's from Real Wallachian Games. This is a game in which each player is saying that I am Vlad.
No, I am Vlad.
No, I am Vlad.
I am Spartacus.
At least I have an accent. Okay, but anyhow, the game is you have 3 pieces and you're fighting each other. You know what? Let me just show you how the game plays and then we'll come back. You can see here how big the board is. It takes up the whole table, and then each player is going to get 4 figures in their color. They have their Vlad, the guy who is trying to be Vlad. They have a knight, and then they have an archer. Each player also has this mega tower that they can build. The tower is used, you can build it later on, and you'll be able to move people onto it, and whenever someone walks by it, they'll take damage. Now, there's actually 2 other boards here. This board here, when your archer and when your knight die, then you will be able to, they're not dead right away. You have 2 of these tokens which will allow you to bring them back to life. However, they come back here, and then each turn of the game, you're going to be rolling a pretty cool looking 6-sided die that shows how far they move on this track. As they move on these spaces, once they get into this track and move around this track forever and ever, eventually, hopefully you'll be able to get one of the other characters to be able to recall them from the dead. So you can do that twice. Vlad, on the other hand, you have 2 life tokens for him, and when one of those life tokens is gone, when both of them are gone, then you're out of the game too. So, what you're doing in the game is you're starting with your characters in your corner of the board. And each turn, these characters can move 5 spaces and then take an action. Your actions are simply going to be going around and buying stuff at store spots on the board. Let's focus in here. Like here is a spot where I can buy things, buy cards, and buy the tower. Or you can go to the church and ring a bell, which traps people in the middle, or bring back people from the dead, and so on and so forth. But you can also go around, you'll need money. You have no money to start the game with, so you can go fight werewolves, which will give you 3 coins. You can also fight the guards of a bridge. Once you fight the guards of this bridge, for example, and you win, you would take a flag of your color and put it here, and then you no longer have to fight the guards on that bridge. If you get to the middle, you're able to curse another player by putting a curse token in the middle, and then that player is going to take 2 damage to each of their characters each turn. And the object of this game is to get a bunch of Vlad tokens of other players' colors, or to be the last person standing. Or you can move your Vlad figure into the middle and stand there and take people out slowly that way. So, you know, there's a few strategies, but essentially it's just running up to the other people or to werewolves and fighting them. Even moving around the board, everything is equal distant from everything else. So at the beginning of the game, you're close to 2 different werewolf sets. You got to go there to get your gold, and then after that, everyone else has done that, so there's not much gold left in the game. And then you fight the people and you fight other people and whatever. Let's get to the opinion. Buying things can be expensive, and so you want to buy magic cards that you can use in your deck. These are much better cards. See, 18 and 12, or here's one that's 20 and 10. These are much more powerful than the other cards, but you need to kill at least 2 werewolves before you get them. You can also buy stakes, which will help take out your opponent's Vlad, or potions, which will recover hit points for one of your people. And you can also buy kind of a cheaper type cards at the church that will give you a one-time effect that you can play. These only cost 1 gold, but, again, the only way to get gold is really to go out and take out the werewolves. So that's the way the game will work. Again, like I said, you're just going to keep moving around, fighting, and eventually somebody is going to get the right combination of cards to take out the other person. Again, these towers here, you can shoot at people when they walk by it. Of course, you have to have the money to build it, so have fun doing that. Now, this game takes place in turns that in each turn it's either night or day. The bells can only be rung during this time frame, and the night and day matter because of who you're going to fight. It also has a way that they keep track of hit points of different characters is done for the enemy on this board, while each player will keep track of the hit points of their own characters with the 3 dials on their own board. Each of these dials shows your life points, and you just go on and do that. Now, players are going to be fighting with cards. You have cards in your hand, and when you fight somebody else, you move around the board and fight, and the archer can do ranged, and Vlad can do a little bit of ranged. And when you fight someone else, you're both going to be playing cards, and you'll be comparing the damage that you do at the top to their defense, subtracting them, and that's how much damage you do to that person. If you fight a neutral creature, a werewolf creature, they will roll an attack die and do damage to you. This one here goes from 7 to 14 damage. And so they will hurt you, and you will hopefully hurt them. You will have a hard time ganging up on people, but you'll be able to use different cards, and then you'll draw new cards. Some cards, for example, this card here, shows that it can only be used during the day, while this card can only be used at night. So if you don't have the right cards for day and night, you will not be able to attack somebody, which can be difficult, especially when you're trying to get money so that you can buy stuff. All right.
That was a lot of stuff.
Boy.
Okay, first of all, this game does not need to be in a box that is this big. You have 3 pieces each. Well, no, you have 4. You have that idiotically gigantic castle, which is not really even that useful. Mm-hmm. And then you have a bunch of counters in the board, and it's all beautiful except the warping boards.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it looks good, but it doesn't need to be this big. I mean, a box this big for me has to be a really good game, because this is taking up a lot of real estate on your shelf.
It is.
To be kept, you mean?
To be kept.
Right.
I mean,
I don't think this box, the size of the box should not indicate the quality of the game, but I understand what you're saying. To be kept, there better be a really good game in here, because...
Okay, well, is it a really good game?
No.
Is it a good game?
No.
Is it a bad game?
Yes.
Well, I was going to say no, because I think it's even worse than that. I think it's really bad.
Oh, okay. Well,
I didn't know there were going to be more categories,
I didn't know there were more categories. Come on, man.
Okay. No, but...
Gee,
well, I don't want to pile on it too much, but essentially the game is so... nothing. There's nothing there.
4 words, and I think you'll appreciate these. Much ado about nothing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There is nothing here. It's a box full of stuff.
I think the
Why?
biggest...
That's confusing, but I know what you mean.
I think the biggest sin this game commits, and by that I mean the designers, is that it seems to me that they do not have a very good, well-rounded understanding of games that are out there and available. They do not have a lot to pull from, it seems, and so they are recycling these very dated, very, outdated ideas and thinking that they are coming up with something fresh when this is, as soon as you open the box, this game feels old, feels like there's much better games already. This game had come out in the 70s, maybe.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think, being specific about the game itself, I think the card combat part of this game, when I went through it, reading through the rules, I thought, that sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah.
You have attack and defense on your card, and depending on the stuff, and I wouldn't mind a game like that where I played a cool card and you played a cool card and we countered each other. Mm-hmm. But because you can only play some of the cards during the day and some at night, you are really limited to playing whatever cards you possibly can play.
Yes.
So you just play those cards, and the other person plays their cards, and you see what happens. There's no real strategy. There's no real thought during the game. What do you do when you're first? Well, you go fight the werewolves, or you go fight the guards. Those are your 2 options. Or you go fight other players, which is really just kind of, it's like a slap fight, really. It doesn't feel like Vlad's fighting. It feels like a bunch of guys going, stop that, until the one guy falls over. Mm-hmm. And then even when you die, going through that land, rolling a die to get out, and then it felt like Talisman. You go to the middle and stand there, and everyone else takes the damage each turn.
again, it just feels
It's
to
boring.
me like
That's
it's
the biggest
boring
problem.
and dated, and and then you look at this gorgeous box too,
Yeah.
and it hurts to look at this gorgeous box, the gorgeous components. The game's well built.
It's well produced.
Yeah, but there's just no game in here to fill this box.
I go back to my 4 words.
Yeah, much ado about nothing.
It all looks great, but it's smoke and mirrors. There's not a game there. I mean, there's a game, I guess you could say, but it struck out on everybody that was playing it.
I wonder what came first. You know what I mean? Was it that idea with the cards? Because that might have become a cool card game.
Yeah.
Very simple. I am Vlad, the card game. My fly. This game is overblown for no reason. That you could cut out 80% of this game and still end up with a game which is not that good, but at least it comes in a little card game.
And it has all these things you can buy, potions and stakes and cards, and they're so expensive, and when you get them, they're really not that useful. They're really not that good.
Yeah.
And it's you went to all that work to get nothing, so I don't know.
But again, I do commend the company for the production.
Yeah.
Is out of this world.
Yep.
The attention to detail, the miniatures,
Artwork.
all of that is beautiful.
Very
but
good.
get better games in these awesome boxes.
Yeah.
That's because then you've got knockouts. This can definitely get on the map, but not with a game like this, because this will trick people into getting the game, but then the word of mouth will not be good.
Yeah.
Because the game, I just don't see who would enjoy this game.
Games like this really sadden me because they seem, when we saw the components for this, it was just like amazing. And so for that reason, and because it commits the worst sin a game can commit in the fact that it was boring, and I didn't care what I did on my turn. And when that happens, it's not good. So I have to give this one 2 stakes down. 2 stakes down.
I gave it 2 ruined towers down.
I don't even want to come up with a clever...
Welcome to our thumb system, sir.
Oh, I know. 2 bloody ruined Vlad buddies pointing.
He's a rookie.
It's not worth giving down things to.
He's a rookie.
This game is just really not worth it. 2 thumbs down.
Oh.
Boring.
Boring.
Get it? It's a theme.
Oh,
Man,
oh, meta.
appreciate me.
Now it makes.
All right, I am Vlad.
I am not Vlad.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.